Hello, students. This recording contains your first assignment. Headquarters received the following video. Here is the information we know. Your instructions are to look for clues, listen to the story, and help us figure out who the reader really is.
You thought unicorns are mythical creatures found only in fantasy stories. Well, I'm here to tell you that is false. Unicorns can be found in lots of places. You just have to know where to look and how to find them. You had a unicorn here at Oliveira for nearly a decade and you didn't even know it. Unicorns are known for their magic, and I am no different. My ability to transfer knowledge into young humans is my greatest trick. But magic can only be achieved by following the 3 rules all unicorns must follow. Be organized, be creative, be caring. Unicorns are rare and can be challenging to find. However, it's not impossible. You want to know the secret to finding us? First, unicorns do not like negativity. Second, they do like those who always try their best. Unicorns can usually be convinced to come out of hiding with tacos. We love tacos. Some unicorns come from the mountains. Some, like me, come from a lake. That's why you'll most likely find a unicorn outside, loving the fresh air. If you see a family of unicorns, you won't be able to separate them. They are guarded by love and cats. Yes, cats are very protective of unicorns, and they usually come in pairs, so watch out. Finally, the best way to show a unicorn you are friendly is through music. All unicorns know that music like this is magical and leads them to lifelong friends. So the next time someone tells you that unicorns are not real, tell them you met me, and I'll tell the unicorns I met you. After all, unicorns know that children are magical and creative and try their best and, well, they think you only exist in fantasy stories.
And now, presenting our first masked reader, Unicorn. The Book Tree, written by Czajak, illustrated by Rashin Kheiriyeh.
Nestled in the branches of a tree, Arlo opened his book and breathed in. Beginnings were always the best part. They smelled as if anything were possible. Oh no! I'm sorry, Mayor. I got lost in my book, and it slipped. Preposterous! Books are dangerous. I don't trust them. They act like seeds, which grow into ideas, and ideas turn into questions. I will tell you what you need to know. First, the mayor gathered every book in the library, and then every book in the whole town. Then he tore them up until all that was left was a single page that floated away in a passing breeze. Arlo chased the page as it blew across town. It reminded him of a dandelion seed drifting on a wish. When it landed, the muddy earth swallowed it letter by letter until it too was gone. Arlo thought that perhaps the mayor was right. After all, he'd been elected mayor. He must know something, but without books, Arlo noticed changes wherever he looked. At school, teachers had nothing to read, so story time became nap time. Without cookbooks, restaurants served only dry cereal. No one went to the theater, since actors had nothing to act out. And in the place Arlo loved most, all the shelves were empty. Arlo sat where the last page was buried. He missed the crack and creak of a book's spine the first time you open it. He longed for the smell and the crisp texture of the book's pages, but most of all, he missed getting lost in an epic adventure. Sadly, Arlo scratched 2 words into the dirt. Endings were the worst part of any book. But as he stared at the words, they grew into an idea. Arlo sat with pencil and paper and let his ideas flow. He read his stories out loud to anyone who passed by, but no one stopped to listen. Then Arlo heard something. A sound he thought he'd never hear again. That familiar crack and creak. When Arlo looked for the source of the sound, he saw a sprout springing from where the page had been buried. It began to open its leaves. It reached for Arlo's words, begging for more. Every story Arlo wrote and read aloud, the sprout grew. Arlo wrote a story about a giant, and the tree grew tall, stretching for the clouds. He wrote about a fire-breathing beast, and its branches became as strong as dragon's claws. He wrote about a magical swan made of paper, and blooms of tissue paper blossomed into books. When the books were ripe, Arlo climbed into the branches of the book tree and breathed deeply, enjoying the fruits of his harvest. While Arlo read, a friend stopped under the tree. "I'm bored, there's nothing to do." "You can try reading," Arlo said. "Is that a book?" "Yup." "Here, I love this story," Arlo said, giving her a hand up into the tree. The two shared this shady spot. Soon flocks of readers roosted on the limbs. Books spread through the town like pollen in the wind. People grew hungry for reading again. Some wrote their own stories and became book gardeners themselves. Fiery maples bloomed with picture books, willows wept with poetry, and fruit trees filled with cookbooks flourished. As the trees grew, the town blossomed. The mayor, lost in his mayoral work, was oblivious to all the changes. That is, until a ripe book fell on his head. Donk! The mayor kicked and stomped. Who planted these trees? You did, sir, Arlo said, when you tore up the books. It planted an idea. Impossible! This is the second time my head is hurting because of a book. The trees have to be cut down. But we've become a town of books and stories. You can't cut them down. The mayor walked the streets of the town. He gorged himself at one of the 5-star restaurants, caught a show in the park, and lost himself in a story about a boy fishing for a whale in a puddle. Books did all of this? The mayor asked, astonished. No, Arlo said, as he handed the mayor a freshly picked story. The book was just the seed.